3, 2, 1. Be gay sports. It's being gay. Remember when they used to have that exact same intro?
I love that
EA
thing.
Sports.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
So cheesy.
Oh, yeah. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. I almost forgot. This is Sardonicast.
I'm Ralph from youtube.com/Ralph the Movie Maker.
And I'm Alex from IHE. It's in the game.
I was debating doing the exact same congratulations one again, because you actually hit 2 million subs. But I didn't want to confuse people thinking it was the wrong episode.
You jinxed it.
Well, I mean...
how much were you off by? It wasn't a lot.
It was a few weeks, at least.
Yeah.
It was like almost a month.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. Shit. It was your fault, Alex.
It's your fault for jinxing it.
No, it's because you said you hate pineapple on pizza. That's why That's why nobody subscribed anymore.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did you lose subscribers from that? Oh, no, you're not wrong. That's the correct
opinion.
Oh,
am I the lone person who will eat pineapple on pizza here?
Elaborate, though. What do you mean by will eat? Will you choose?
Hawaiian? Why not? It's a topping.
Okay. So we got a degenerate on the cast then.
Uh-oh.
Fine then.
I don't understand why this became such a huge issue in the past few years. That's what I'm confused about.
It's just funny.
It never used to be an issue.
Yeah.
I think some people are serious.
Yeah, it's like, is a hot dog a sandwich? It's one of those kind of debates where it's just never
I'm not
ending.
sure. I'm not sure, because that's just like classification, right? It's not, is it still a pizza? It's like, it's very clearly a pizza topping. There are just some people that hate it. Like with a fiery passion.
It's like, why would you put it on? Yeah, you could put just a chocolate bar on top, but that doesn't make any sense. It's a topping that makes no sense.
At least chocolate's delicious.
I feel like it's one of those regional things, because like I used to hate seafood until I moved to the coast.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, wait, seafood's actually good. I just live in the wrong spot for seafood. Maybe everybody who hates pineapple on pizza just has shit pineapple.
Maybe that's true.
That's possible.
It's entirely possible.
Very far away from anywhere where pineapples grow. So
I don't know how it works, but I think it's a perfectly acceptable topping.
It's fine if you like it, but I think it should be illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Ralph.
It's fine if you like it, but you're a degenerate.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. It's just opinions, guys.
Exactly.
Alex actually got a pretty cool fucking gift for his 2 million subscriber.
An amazing gift.
Yes.
And a Sardonicast related gift. I got to throw out a big shout out thank you to Harry. I'm not going to dox him any more than that. But he happened to have a spare ticket for London Film Fest to the Lighthouse, which was a sold out screening, really popular. And I just managed to sneak in there right at the last moment. And had an awesome time. We're going to talk about the movie, not this episode, but in the future, shortly, when Ralph's able to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an awesome experience, especially because I've never been to a film fest before.
Awesome.
And what made it even better is that Harry actually works in the film industry.
Oh.
So when I first sat down and said hello to him, he said, "Yeah, I work on sets." And I was like, "Oh, anything I know?" Yeah, Show Dogs was one of them. Actually, a lot of films you've made videos on. So I was like, oh Jesus! I froze up. I thought it was like a trap, and I was about to be taken out. But no,
you have to be publicly shamed.
Yeah,
this guy's against the film industry. He hates us. Everybody, look.
No, it was really funny. He was a cool guy, and there were also a couple of other Sards there too.
Oh yeah.
Well, George and Elena. So shout out to them too. One of them specifically mentioned they were there on your recommendation, Adam. So
awesome!
You're spreading the love for the Lighthouse.
Yeah, I think it attracts a decent amount of attention when I give something a 10 to people that watch my shit. At least, is that what we're calling our fan base now? Sards. Sards.
It's just because of that question we had like a few weeks ago. I can't get it out of my head. It's just so weird to me.
Sards. Okay.
Sards. Sardines? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sardonites?
Sardonites?
It's awful. No. I like sards. It's simple.
Yeah, but it's close to sodomites. And so...
Sure, but
it's like
whatever.
One and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I thought you were going to say that they worked at DreamWorks or something. I was waiting for that reveal.
That would have been too much like heaven.
How was your first film festival experience as like just the film festival itself, other than, the movie, which we'll talk about next episode?
The actual experience, one of my best movie watching moments, that's for sure. Because I rant and rave about how bad audiences are in the UK, because especially around where I am, just terrible. Like when I saw Gemini Man, awful experience. The difference is everyone is so enthused to like the next level at a film fest. So they sit down, they shut up, and they're silent.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you can like feel the energy and the love for like the director came out and Willem Dafoe came out, and there's just a cool energy to it all.
Awesome.
Which is way more likable and
great.
Yeah.
sort of inspiring than the average kind of dour experience for any old guff you'd see like Gemini Man.
There's been a couple bad experiences with audience members at film festivals before, but for the most part, majority of screenings, especially at TIFF, very respectful audience, very high energy for enthusiasm. Like everybody's there because they want to see the movie, not because they're looking to kill time or they're on a date and they don't know what to do. So it's a much better crowd.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it this Thursday. So.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, that's tomorrow. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll
Perfect.
talk about it next episode.
Yeah.
My favorite film fest movie that I've ever seen is a little unknown indie film called Gemini Man.
What's that?
It's a groundbreaking new film where the intended format is so extreme that there's no theater in North America that can actually play it.
Yeah,
in
the way it was
4K,
intended to be
3D,
seen.
120 frames per second.
Yeah, because
Can someone explain this to me?
That's the way it's meant to be seen, but
Yeah,
only
it's been
basically
downgraded
the
everywhere.
best theaters can do 2K, 120 frames per second 3D, which is not the way. And even so, very few theaters have done that.
Other theaters will do 4K 60 3D.
Yeah, but that's the way he wants it to be seen, because that's the best way to see the effect, like the Will Smith clone effect.
I
Apparently
guess.
there's
I
so
see.
much detail in it that when you see it in that format, you can make out every little detail in his face, and it's really impressive, apparently. But I just saw it normally.
Oh, really?
How'd you guys see it? Yeah.
I saw the high frame rate. I don't know if it was 60 or
Yeah?
120. It felt like probably 60.
Yeah, a lot of theaters did 60.
It didn't really specify. It just said high frame rate in my showing.
Did it make a difference?
It made a difference in terms of it being funnier. It was very distracting.
Maybe
and
it
hilarious.
hindered your experience for it.
Maybe. I noticed that you gave a higher rating than not only every like the combined critical rating on both Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, but also the combined user rating. Like you've rated it higher than I've seen anyone rate it.
I know. I thought it was like a solid action science fiction film. I thought it was okay.
Yeah?
Like, it's nothing special. And I'm sure we'll go through the many problems it has. And there's some things that are about this movie that are not good. The last scene of this film is, like, embarrassing how bad it is. But I think there are
really
good
funny.
things and elements to like in it. And, Alex, how'd you see it?
Yeah. High frame rate or no?
In just the biggest shithole, so it wasn't a high frame rate.
Okay. Okay, so now we don't get to blame the frame rate.
Like garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit unfair. It didn't look like garbage, but there were some shaky-looking moments for sure.
With the effects.
That maybe would have been fixed with the special screen. I don't know.
But the movie was directed by Ang Lee, and I think that elevates it a little more too, because I thought the movie looked great, and I thought a lot of the action scenes were pretty cool, and there was like a tension and build up to them, and a lot of the Will Smith effects and the way he incorporated in the like live action stuff that he shot practically, I thought was really well done for the most part. So
I'm not sure I feel the same way. I'm not sure. There
Clearly.
was something like, I mean, the facial animation thing, like that was pretty cool and groundbreaking until he's shown in the daytime, and then you start to see the imperfections, and then it's like, oh, that's why the whole movie was dark.
yeah, sometimes it looks really bad,
Yeah.
especially
The scene
at the very
looks
end. Yeah,
awful.
that's all.
Oh, it looked bad.
And just the writing of that scene was just
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
terrible.
Should we
Just
do-
everything about it?
Yeah, let's do spoiler warning. I mean, I don't think
guess.
anybody
if
should
you wanna,
care.
If it looks interesting to you, go check it out. It's like a solid 3 out of 5 for me. It's no Twisted Pair.
Ralph
but
loves
whatever.
it more than anyone else on the planet.
Yeah.
Keep
Keep
that
in mind, I also love Venom.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when I saw your rating.
I kind of
I'm
like
is
this
another
movie in
Venom?
the same way. Yeah, kind of. But I like this movie more.
It's better than Venom.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I like how it
doubt
takes
about
itself, like, it plays it straight, and it's serious for most of it. And Will Smith is, like, playing, like, a normal, like, guy. He's, like, a hardcore assassin, but he's dealing with grief and whatever. He's not, like, goofy Will Smith. And I like that.
I don't know if normal guy's the right way to put it. Because the only reason
No.
they cloned him is
A
because
normal
he's
guy
the,
compared
he's
to, like, the
only
Fresh Prince.
person that can get a shot like that. So they had to clone him. He's the only one that could kill himself. There's nobody else that could do it.
Clone him
God, it's
twice.
I know.
They cloned him
It's
And
twice.
next
so
level
here's what
stupid.
I'm confused about, because like the second Will Smith, he has like
Junior.
memories of him being raised by Clive Owen. He's like his adopted son or something. And so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in terms of the cloning process, was he raising him the entire time while and then
Yeah.
just only used him after a certain amount of time? And then when the third Will Smith comes in, it's like, wait, did he have a side hoe child? Like, was he also raising?
Exactly,
Because
that's
like
what's
he's
implied.
also that age. He's not a baby. Did they get cloned when they
Yeah.
were babies?
They took like the DNA sample and they made two babies.
They're just
the
backups.
junior one that he raises, and then he made a backup for some reason that was raised
Just
in
'cause
just
he
like
knew
a
it
cave or
wouldn't
something
work.
and has no
It's
emotion.
like-
Yeah, just in case.
just
this
have
one
an
can
action
feel
scene.
emotion. It'll turn on me someday.
Yeah. But listen, that's not that far fetched. I mean, you need to have a backup in case one doesn't work out.
All right.
And it's so you can have that line
Yeah.
where they're like, "Well, you gonna make an army of these clones? Why not? Let's do it."
Hey,
Yeah.
his rationale made sense.
Clive Owen's the busiest
He
dad.
explained it.
Like he has time to raise two kids and do all this assassin stuff. So, I mean, like he was the one doing it. It wasn't even like a caretaker. He was like, "I'm your
Yeah.
dad."
One is like a detached sociopath, though. To be fair,
Yeah, I thought a lot of the characters were really bland,
Yeah.
and
oh
like
yeah,
a lot of the dialogue was bad. I thought that was the biggest
Really bad.
issue with it.
it was the exposition for me that just really
Yeah.
just drug it into the dirt and just made it really dull. Because
Mhm.
the action scenes, there are a couple of decent ones. They're kind of above average, I'd say, for the most part. But the problem is you have to sit for so long with these boring cardboard cutouts holding like bottles of Coke really obviously towards the camera. But just ages talking about them.
Yeah.
It's like boring, uninteresting garbage. It's like, I don't care about any of this. It's so just done to death. We've seen this kind of thing 100 times.
The movie's 2 hours long, and they had plenty of time to develop interesting angles that they just didn't. Like, there's more you could do with it. And by the time it was like an hour and a half through the movie, I realized that there was no second act. That we were already into the third act closing the film, and there was no second
Well,
act.
what do you mean?
Like, it just felt like things were set up. It was like
I don't
there was,
agree with that.
It really felt like there was no second act in the
I
film.
don't agree with that.
No?
Well, the start of the second act was like when Will Smith and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, they like team up with Wong from Doctor Strange and they leave. It's like after that action scene where they try to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the beginning of the second act. The midpoint is when it's revealed that like Will Smith has a clone. That's like the reveal of the younger Junior, not the action scene like that they have. It's after that. And then yeah. So I don't really agree with that. And the end of the second act is like when Will Smith teams up. The Will Smiths, both of them team up. And
I
they
don't know.
fight Clive Owen. I think the third act is when they fight Clive Owen.
It felt like the whole concept of the film should have it felt like what was established with the whole clone thing and like, oh man, I'm gonna rebel against you even though I was just saying that I wasn't a clone. Like it felt like that was all just one big act when it was finally like, okay, well now let's see where this goes in the story, but then it just winds up having to wrap itself up because it took so long to get there.
It was structured like an action-adventure film, and then at the midpoint they reveal the clone thing, and then it becomes something else. So it's weird. But I
It's a
think it does
confused
have a
structure.
3-act structure.
The trailer revealed the clone thing.
Yeah,
So
that's the
it's
thing. The trailer reveals
It's
the
like
clone
that's the
thing.
selling point. It's Will Smith versus Will Smith.
In the context of the movie, it's not revealed till halfway. And they have the action scene before, and even then, that's not revealed. It just kind of looks like Will Smith. You're like, oh, who's this guy who kind of looks like me, and he can fight me?
Yeah.
And it's, like, intriguing or something.
Did you feel as though the Clive Owen character's motivations were a little poorly defined, like poorly communicated?
Yeah.
I was like, why is he mad?
Just mustache twirling.
Like,
yeah.
Like, it was explained, I guess, because it's in the Wikipedia plot synopsis, but I don't know when it was explained. I guess I was distracted by the high frame rate.
Well, they introduced that whole angle like halfway through the movie, which was so weird. That's whole like father-son relationship with young Will Smith and him, and it's like kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
I felt like, despite the attempts to be visually groundbreaking, A, the movie's too dark. B, a lot of the action scenes, some parts look cool, but a lot of them, I'm just left wondering, like, what the hell just happened? Like, there was where were they?
They jumped the shark,
yeah, in the cave, and then just all of a sudden, like, one of them's down. I'm like, what happened? Like, it's filmed in a way that's so confusing to understand. Like, almost like quick cut garbage, even though not all of it is. And then even in the parts where I can tell what's happening, like the part where he dodged the motorbike was really funny. It was so goofy.
I thought that was a fun scene.
Yeah, it was like a fist fight with a motorbike. It was hilarious.
It was so funny.
I enjoyed that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was like snickering to myself for most of the movie. Mm-hmm. I had a couple drinks, but I was having a really good time.
I had to hide my laughter.
I was into it.
Yeah, because the audience, they were loving it. I felt like I was the odd one out because it was just so silly to me.
It's like a fun science fiction action movie with Will Smith fighting the young Will Smith.
If I ever feel like my presence might disturb people because I think the movie's hilarious and nobody else does, if there's space at the front of the theater where no one's sitting, I'll just move up there. I'll be like, my view isn't as perfect, but I can snicker a little without disturbing people. Okay. And that's what I did.
That's a good little life hack.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you don't want to disturb other people who want to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not great. Oh my god. I'm just looking at my notes here.
It wasn't insulting either.
The bee venom, like
that whole element, that was so weird. Why was that in there?
The amount of times that they set it up, they like literally the first moment where he smacks a bee on his shoe, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm allergic to bees." I'm like, "That's not gonna come back later." And then they say it 2 more times, and then he gets shot by a tranquilizer dart. She's like, "What was in that?" As if it couldn't have just been a regular tranquilizer dart. He's like, "Bee venom," so casually. That was the funniest fucking thing. And then she has the antidote right away.
It could have just been a tranquilizer.
She's like, I have the epinephrine, blah, blah, blah. And then he's fine. And it's like, well, that didn't even matter. And you spent so long setting it up. Like, what? It had no significance. I'm trying to remember. Did he, when he's trying to convince himself that he's a clone, because he used a lot of, like, weirdly, kind of like nurture versus nature justifications for him being a clone. He was like, man, do you ever have problems communicating with people? Like, this means we're the same. But did he mention the bee venom thing in that scene? I can't remember, because they mentioned it so many times. That would have been something easy to be like, you're allergic to bees. Like, that's a physical thing that you would know that a clone has no matter what in the nature versus nurture aspect. Did he mention that?
No, that would have been more clever.
No, he didn't. Okay. Yeah.
No. The script has a lot of issues. Yeah.
I know.
It's written by your guy, isn't it? Fucking
written by
David
who?
Benioff.
Oh.
David Benioff of Game of Thrones.
Oh my god, really? I didn't know that.
David Benioff
it all makes so much
Ray.
sense. It makes so much sense. No wonder the writing is bad.
Apparently it's been in purgatory for a long time. Like, this film, for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, apparently Nicolas Cage was supposed to be attached at one point. And that would have been, I don't know, maybe equally funny.
It would have been like adaptation.
I mean, yeah.
Two Nicolas Cages.
It did kind of remind me of Face Off a little bit with how stupid it was.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too. The poster did.
So this film was supposed to be a 1997 movie directed by Tony Scott. It was supposed to be a Disney movie too, believe it or not. And they decided that the technology wasn't quite there yet to have a CG younger version of the main character. And what I'm trying to figure out here is, why does the script even need that? Because we have films like Being John Malkovich, or sorry, adaptation. There was one scene in Being John Malkovich where it was a bunch of them anyway, where it was like camera tricks using the same actor. You could have one in older makeup, one in younger makeup. You have films like Looper, where you have two different actors, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt just used makeup prosthetics, just tiny bits of prosthetics, to have a more similar facial structure to Bruce Willis, and that worked fine too. Why does it have to be a CG version of the same person? I don't understand why that's at all necessary, that they needed to hold on to the script for like 22 years. You know? Like, what?
It's not like this story is that great and original either, is it?
Like, why not just
this
film
had
it
to
more
be told.
practically?
Gemini Man is my...
It's a script that probably would have done well in 97 compared to right now. Like, it probably would have been more successful if it was just released in 1997. I don't know what changes they made to the script to have it released.
But it has that kind of feel, like it's been in development. Even there's scenes in the movie where it feels like they're talking about a scene that happened before, but it's like they didn't shoot that scene yet. They were like talking about something they hadn't experienced yet. It was very weird. They were like, "Oh yeah, remember that when we were in that scene and this happened?" It's like, what? Like, why the fuck would you talk like that? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was a really messy, flimsy film. And as much as I'd love to shit on it some more, we got other movies to talk about in this episode.
Yeah, it's hardly even worth it. Like, I can't really remember anything about it. I saw it a couple of days ago. Just a forgettable film. Not even that funny to me either.
It was pretty funny to me, but again, I had a couple drinks.
It was half funny. Just the length just really dragged it down. I was like, okay, you're overstaying your welcome now, Gemini.
I was so happy the entire time. That shot where it reveals the clone Will Smith through the scope, and it just zooms in. It's like, ba ba ba. It's other Will Smith.
That was great.
That was so funny. Oh man.
Yeah. I could hardly focus on it. It was so distracting, that whole aspect.
I know.
It's the only thing the movie has. It's the hook of the movie, is that there's a CG Fresh Prince running around.
It's just so unnecessary too. It doesn't even need to be there.
No, that's the point of the movie. You have to. He's like fighting his own conflict, you know, his own internal demons, because he killed so many people, and he's trying to steer this young boy away from that life. It's really deep.
Why not do it as like an animated movie or something?
Yeah. The technology wasn't there yet.
All right.
Animation didn't exist.
Give it another 20 years, and then we'll remake it.
It's just one of those things where you're going to buy it or you're not.
All right. What would you guys give it?
This was for me. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. I give it a 3 out of 5.
The highest rating anyone has ever given the film.
Apparently. Although I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure you could find a user review on IMDb as a 10, but who knows if that's ironic or not.
Yeah. I give Uncanny Valley the movie 1.5 stars out of 5. I think that's what I gave it. I can't remember.
I think you did. I think I saw your rating.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I couldn't give it quite a 1 because there were a couple of bits I did enjoy, but I mean, there ain't.
I don't think there's anything about it that's that awful. I think it's mostly just mediocre and bland. Like, I don't think there's no third act. I don't think it's incompetent. You know, I thought it was like a solid action movie.
It's frustrating because of the people attached and how boring. There's just no excuse for boring, meandering scenes.
Yeah, these Will Smith vehicles are annoying, but this is a good one compared to like Collateral Beauty or Aladdin.
3 main actors. Will Smith is playing Will Smith. Clive Owen is playing Clive Owen. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is, I guess, playing Zooey Deschanel from The Happening. Like, it's just so. I don't really see anything like super impressive other than maybe the groundbreaking visual effects that even with those, they had to make the entire movie dark to be more convincing anyway. And even with those,
the spectacle of it was fun.
It was a laughable spectacle to me. It's just funny how they try to prioritize this gimmick over telling an actual story, over making an actual movie, you know? And like even with the idea of like this is a visual masterpiece, you know, the guy that directed Life of Pi, it still kind of looked like shit for a lot of the movie, you know? And like you have poorly communicated action scenes.
I thought the way they incorporated visual effects was very cool.
I wasn't big on it. I enjoyed it thoroughly as a comedy, and that's about it. Sorry.
I don't think it's going to age very well.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh no.
Anyway,
I bet in 10 years it'll look great.
I give it a 2 out of 10. And I think I've justified myself quite well.
Mm-hmm. You have.
All right.
Let's go on to good movies, like Joker.
What'd you think?
Anyone gonna do the laugh?
I'm not going to do a laugh.
When I come out, can you introduce me as Cool Cat?
Nice.
That's how you should
Oh my
laugh.
God.
Oh,
Maybe we shouldn't
somebody
do
make
that
an
anymore.
edit where all of the Joker laughs are replaced by Cool Cat laughs. Somebody can do that.
Oh, that would be way creepier than the movie.
Yeah. What'd you guys think? I saw it a while ago, so.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah?
It was all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, King of Comedy. was...
Dude, that's my review.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good movie. It was like Taxi Driver. It was a lot like King of Comedy.
Yeah.
I see why you guys mentioned it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was way more similar to King of Comedy than Taxi Driver. It has been a while since I've seen Taxi Driver, but
I almost regret watching Taxi Driver in preparation for the Joker at TIFF instead of watching King of Comedy. Because I think it's more like King of Comedy than Taxi Driver.
Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of the
Yeah.
tone, especially in like the first half of the film, I feel like it's more like Taxi Driver. Because King of Comedy is very funny, basically all the way throughout, and has a very lighthearted tone. And Taxi Driver is more like dark. And the first half of this film is really sad
Yeah.
and dour, and I like
the first
that about
half,
it.
all of it.
All of it.
It's pretty down.
But he
Yeah.
more comes into his own, like, and becomes the Joker that you like or that you know in that second half
Yeah.
or toward the end.
Spoiler warning for Joker.
Yeah, I guess spoiler warning. The
So we're
beginning
talking
is just like
spoilers, yeah.
boring and miserable, and it's awful. You're like, oh, I feel so bad for this guy.
Well, yeah, that was one of the issues I had, was just the overall kind of lack of subtlety. It's just a less subtle King of Comedy set in the Batman universe. Like, if that's either going to be a positive or a negative to you. Like, if that sounds like something, man, that sounds like an awesome idea for a movie. You're going to love the movie because there isn't really that much I can really pick apart beyond things to do with the plot mainly.
Oh, yeah.
Because the performances are pretty good all around. There are loads of really good moments. Visuals, of course, are outstanding. I mean, it's not bad, but it didn't really move me. I don't know if it was just this whole expectations thing or how it's just the movie's really relevant in terms of like meme culture. It's being memed like really hard. And when that happens and all I see is just jokes based on movies like this, I just go in and I find it really hard to take it seriously sometimes. I don't know. It's just my preference, I guess, with what I expect and want out of this character, but I didn't find it entirely satisfying to have a movie just based around him, because the reason I like the Joker normally is because there is sort of a yin and yang relationship going on, and his entire purpose is to like counteract and be a foil for someone who has the complete opposite sort of philosophies and tendencies, and that's what's interesting to me. Without that, I was finding it hard to find anything to grip on. Aside from, I guess, the really unsubtle commentary that is much more explored and entertaining and fulfilling in the King of Comedy,
Yeah.
in my opinion, anyway.
Absolutely. All the tie-ins with the Batman universe felt very
Forced.
like shoehorned in,
Yup.
forced. Yeah,
It didn't need it.
Bruce Wayne, the old guy. Was that supposed to be Alfred, the guy at the gate?
Probably.
When Joker.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I wish this movie was more on its own and
Yeah.
just kind of did
Yeah,
its own
same.
thing. Because in the beginning, you don't even know it's Gotham or anything. It's just it takes place in this shitty city. And you're like, oh, I wish it was more just its own movie and not tied in with Batman.
Well, that's what it kind of marketed itself as, is a standalone
Yeah.
origin story. And so to shoehorn in Batman just because, and especially, it keeps getting worse as it goes along in that sense. They try to imply that Joker is literally responsible for his parents dying, and it's like,
Yeah, it's very
come
corny.
come on.
It's a really annoying reveal.
It's insisted significance, and it's just really, it's irritating.
It just doesn't go in line with the tone of the rest of it, which is more realistic and serious, and that's very corny. If that was in Gemini Man, maybe it would be better.
There were certainly some corny moments outside of that. I feel like, him getting
Like stuff
beaten
in
up
his
with
head?
the sign and the whole bullied on the train thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
certainly some corny moments where characters were more like
But I don't think it was
characters.
supposed to be
manipulative
intentional.
way.
It was just lack of subtlety.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that character, when you have a character like Joker with that kind of darkness behind him, it's a difficult challenge that the screenwriters have to face, because normally you wouldn't necessarily have to make the villain character sympathetic. But if he's the main character in a movie, it would just be too much for general audiences to handle. So they've got to make him sympathetic in the only way they can, which is just by having him be beaten up all the time, which is like such a cop out to me. It's like, yeah, of course I'm going to feel sorry for this like poor weak man just being beaten up. Like it doesn't make it really layered and deep character development to me. Mm-hmm. It's just like, yeah, that's just like writing sympathy trick 101. Just have them be beaten up a bunch, and that justifies like
society beats him down, bullied. Yeah. He doesn't get his medication. His mom is awful to him.
That's the thing though, like I'm okay with taking this seriously as like a character study, but then when you do delve more into basically the dumb shit, when the dumb shit starts, then it's like, well, this tonally isn't really working for me, because now I'm thinking about Killer Croc and the Penguin and Two-Face and all this, and I'm just like, this is very strange to me.
Can I tell you a theory my mom had for this film?
Go ahead.
So there's a little person in this film.
Yes.
And her theory, once the movie's over, she called me and said, I think that guy in the sequel is going to become the Penguin.
No, dude, this is exactly my problem. This film is confusing. Because I also heard similar things from people as I was walking out of the movie. I overheard someone saying, yeah, like I can't wait to see where they take the sequel. Like, how's Batman going to deal with this one? And so I think you guys are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, he's going to team up with Ben Affleck and they're going to fight.
Yeah, because everyone's we're conditioned now.
My mom did have a good theory, which is like once he goes in the fridge at the end, everything after that is a dream. I guess that one makes more sense. But that's something you could get out of this movie. But there's all this other shit that muddles it up.
At what point does he go in the fridge?
It's like right before he gets the phone call to come on the show.
Oh.
And that was weird. Like they would just call him to go on the show. That
was weird.
So it kind of makes sense.
I'm going to shut down that theory right now. Because
go ahead.
Because how can it be in his imagination that someone murdered Bruce Wayne's parents? And that's just coincidentally.
Yeah, that is weirdly specific.
I mean, you can't he doesn't know who this guy is. So
that's true.
So anything involving the Bruce, that's also kind of why I hate the whole shoehorn thing. There is because otherwise you could interpret it however you wanted. Any scene could have been imaginary, but as soon as you have the Batman Bruce Wayne aspect, then it's like, no, that has to be literal, because why would he imagine somebody who he's going to meet later who he doesn't know yet, sort of thing? Why would he imagine the origin story of his arch nemesis that he's not aware of at the time? That doesn't make sense. So it shuts it down.
They do establish he has dreams or visions or whatever with that love interest he has, which I think is like the worst part of the film and was so predictable and shoehorned in.
Oh man, and I
really didn't like any of that.
I was so disappointed by how they handled that in the reveal, because the moment she walks in and she's like, what, who are you, like, what are you doing here? And like, she's obviously uncomfortable. Like, you could have explored that scene without the flashbacks and it would have been so fucking obvious anyway. But as soon as they do the flashbacks, it's like, oh wait, this is an R-rated movie for 12-year-olds. Oops. Like, oh.
They could have fleshed that scene out and made it way more intense than it was.
Yeah, that too.
It was like 30 seconds.
No, it's because at the same time it's juggling this bizarre like story about how 3 murders causes this like complete breakdown of society for some reason. Can you guys explain that to me? Did that bug you at all?
It's because that's the commentary of the film.
Yeah, but that is that like it? But it makes no sense.
But in real life, it's a little more complex than that.
You don't live in Gotham,
so
you don't know.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what it's like there. How could we relate?
Yeah.
We're up on our YouTube pedestals. How can we relate to the people of Gotham?
If clickbait media was trying to get people not to watch the film, they certainly did a terrible job. Because now it's like everybody has to see it to be a part of the conversation. Yeah. It broke October records.
Everyone's talking about this movie.
Oh, it's so funny.
Do you think it would have done that no matter what, though?
It's Joker movie. I mean, it certainly didn't help.
But they did help.
Yeah, they helped promote the film.
It's just annoying. Exactly.
I know I briefly mentioned, I think it was in the last episode, I did feel, and again, I'm going to repeat, that I don't feel like any movie should be censored because of this, but I did feel, there's an argument to make that it kind of does glorify this type of negative behavior that if somebody who's mentally ill watches the movie, it's probably not a good idea. How do you guys feel about that?
I guess you could take it that way.
Yeah.
The narrative of it is definitely like society beat me down.
Yeah.
And if I just kill someone, then I'll become famous.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show everyone. It has that kind of revenge fantasy to it. Could take it that way. Definitely. Yeah. But I don't think that's all the movie is. So
yeah, it's just a more clumsy, less subtle interpretation of the same message of the King of Comedy, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
but the movie's also kind of vague. So, could you take it that way?
Well, maybe? they have their get out of jail free card, which is it was all a dream. Like it didn't actually happen. Like it was all in his head.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Whereas King of Comedy, Taxi Driver is very specific about those kind of characters and their effect on society.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty hilariously hypocritical for news media to be blaming a film for inspiring mass shooters when it hasn't even happened. When in reality, the coverage of mass shooters it's been pretty much documented that actually inspires more mass shooters when you publish their name and you spend entire news cycles talking about them and giving them attention. Like that encourages mass shooters.
It's like they were so desperate for a story that they were trying to make it happen.
Yeah, it's so weird. Mm-hmm. It's kind of gross.
There was a story that two guys were talking during the movie or something and got kicked out. They were disturbing the show. And they made a big story of that.
That's funny.
Who gives a fuck? That's not a story.
Something happened at the Joker screening.
They got kicked out of a theater. Oh no. That happens all the time.
What happens, though, as a result from that is they make more money from people going and seeing it out of interest. People are talking about the movie, and so they're going to go see it. I haven't heard people talk about a movie like this for a while. Just everyone. My hairdresser was talking about it. Just random people on the street talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere. Because of this very thing. It's weirdly representative of attitudes of now, which is kind of a thing to love and hate about it, because it's kind of weird and sad in a way that in 2019... really edgy, serious Joker movie that's the most depressing, over the top, violent, just
it's weird that we all connect with it.
R-rated, oppressive movie is what everyone is really feeling at the moment. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's cool.
I seriously doubt that Todd Phillips or Joaquin Phoenix went into this project with the expectation that it would be some sort of political message by this film existing. There's definitely political commentary within the film, like most movies, but I don't think either of them were like, oh yeah, we're sending a message about current society, and then all of a sudden it got turned into this symbol for
it's weird. It's just from the headline of it, of people being made aware that the film's even being made, from that very second it just started being politicized.
Yeah.
And it's just become its own beast. There's this weird, it's one of those films that has a meta-narrative where there's the film on its own and it's there's that to discuss, but almost talking about the way people view the film outside of the film itself is almost more interesting to me. Because, there isn't much else to say aside from it's just a combination of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy with a bit of Batman shoved in.
It looked good.
It's not as good as either of them.
Cinematography was really nice.
Amazing performance. Joaquin is always great.
Everyone
I like
was
the
really
spin
good.
on the laugh.
Yeah.
I thought that was something I hadn't seen before with the character.
Mm-hmm.
I like it adds an extra layer of sadness. The fact that when he was laughing, he actually couldn't help it. There was kind of a weird irony to that really hammered home how sad this character was, how depressed and just down he was. It was really disturbing and an awesome interpretation of that character. Not as good as Jared Leto, obviously, but
Yeah, that's funny. He has to be stuck in between the two great performances. He's the Joker in between.
He's really upset about this movie.
Poor Jared.
Oh yeah, of course he's upset. I'm just imagining Joaquin Phoenix preparing for his role, going through clips of the Pillsbury Doughboy and just trying to get it down. There's a hidden sadness in this character. Pillsbury Doughboy doesn't want to laugh. He gets poked and then it happens. It's not consensual.
I also liked I like De Niro in the movie too.
Yeah.
We keep talking about King of Comedy, but the film is clearly paying homage to King of Comedy and knows it's inspired by it. Mm-hmm. And De Niro plays the the Jerry, what's his name? The Jerry Langford show.
Yeah.
He plays like that character
Jerry
in Joker,
L.
and I thought that was very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a highlight for sure.
Well, the amazing performance by Joaquin Phoenix will certainly have me walking to his next movie at a brisk pace.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Do you want to clap?
Oh, I am internally.
You imagine an audience just laughing at all of your
Oh yeah, I'm
quips.
standing in front of an art exhibit of this giant poster of a laughing crowd right now. All right, what would you
Ever
guys
seen that before?
give the film?
3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
right there with you, Ralph.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
same. 3 out of 5 for me. Yeah, didn't really move the needle particularly.
I think enough time has passed that I am changing my 7 to a 6. And I'm more confident about it.
Okay.
It was always closer to a 6. I had to decide between one or the other. And yeah, it's a 6. It's pretty good.
Like, are you guys going to rush to rewatch this movie
No.
ever? Like, I don't
No.
feel the need to go back and really experience it again. I'd much rather just watch King of Comedy again. I feel like there's more to get out of that movie.
Yeah. Well, compared to like superhero films that are coming out recently, I think this is something that stands out. Like, it looks good, it's mature, it has themes that it's exploring. It's not like some dumb, like, it doesn't end with a giant fucking action scene or whatever. But compared to like what it's aping, or I guess paying homage to, it's not as good. So
It's got an 8.9 user rating on IMDb.
good. I'm happy people enjoy it.
It won the Golden Lion at Venice Film
Yeah, that's a
Festival.
little weird.
I know, right? That was a little weird. But it's not like people treat Venice Film Festival the same way that they do Cannes or something. It's not like their jury is like super.
Is that what they think America is like? They think it's like the Joker.
Probably.
How it's depicted in
Yeah.
the Joker. That's why they gave it the Golden Lion.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Joker, Ralph's recommendation was
Yeah.
Joker the prequel.
The Joker prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker -1. Or Joker 0, I
Joker.
guess. Joker,
Mhm.
but instead of an O, there's a 0 in the title. Jazero Kerr.
Please.
Joker
Please.
cubes.
I should be in marketing.
Spoilers for King of Comedy. King of Comedy follows a young comedian named Rupert Pumpkin, played by Robert De Niro, who is just itching for his big break, you know. So he decides the best course of action is to kidnap the host of a show, the Jerry Langford show, and blackmail his network into letting him perform on his show. And the movie is fucking incredible. It's directed by Martin Scorsese. It's the second movie we've talked about from him. And it's another, like, one of his comedies. His, like, really goofy comedies. And it's like a satire of fame and television. And I thought it was great. What'd you guys think of it?
I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely loved it, yeah.
I also loved it. I thought it was great.
It's hysterical.
I found it more sad than funny. I think you hyped it up as
Yeah,
more of
I
a
was
funny
gonna
movie
say,
than
you keep
I
describing it as-
than I experienced it as.
I thought this movie's hilarious.
It is funny
Robert De
in a
Niro's
sick way.
performance, yes, in a sick way, which is what I find funny. But Robert De Niro's performance is fucking brilliant. And the way he pulls off this, like really awful comedian, but he's really funny to watch him, like, flub and be awkward with people. I think it's incredible. I think it's one of the best things he's ever done.
Yeah.
There's shades of comedy within each scene. There's always a comedic element, but I think that in terms of what's happening in the narrative, and especially what I get out of it and relate to in the film, it's a much more sad movie. And I don't know. I love movies that really go into a character study representing this kind of delusion, this kind of desperation out of a character. There's a really great Italian movie called Reality, where there's some similar elements at play within the main character. It's part of the reason why I hate LA so much, is because there's so many people that are just thinking like, oh, all I need is my big break, right? And they treat their entire life as though the only thing that's preventing them from being successful or happy is this like red tape that they need to burst through. And with that delusion comes this idea that you don't really need to work on yourself or prove yourself outside of that. You know, like he never recorded any of his own material. He didn't do any stand-up. He just kind of like, you know, worked on it in his room or whatever and was thinking like, oh, all I need is somebody else to throw me into the spotlight. And I it's always so sad to me because there's a lot of people like that. And the main character in this film is clearly a lot more disturbed than the average person with that delusion. Like he takes it a little further than you'd expect the average person waiting for their big break to. But it always kind of gets me. There's a line in the film after he breaks into the summer home or whatever, where he's like, oh, well, you know what I realized? Is that I have to do everything by myself. I can't count on anybody, sort of thing. And I think that that's something that's actually very important for people to realize, is like, you need to prove things by yourself. You really do. You can't let somebody else be responsible for your own success. Otherwise, you'll just be waiting forever, and you'll be, you know, putting the blame on other people when you really need to focus on yourself and do something independently. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to actually work hard. But I love that element.
Yeah. The character has no dignity. You're secondhand embarrassed for him because he's so blinded by this goal that he doesn't even realize that he doesn't even have the self-awareness to reflect on and change his ways. He just doubles down again and again, and you're just like, oh my God, where are you gonna take it next? And despite the exaggerated level of it, you do see flashes of reality in there. You see this type of person exists, and like, I'm sure we've all interacted with plenty of people that have hints of this kind of thing, like you say, with that whole LA thing, with the just all these game shows and everything, where they're like X Factor, and they're trying to win fame and fortune and everything, and it really is taking a step back and just analyzing. Look, if this is your entire being, look how sad and pathetic it is from a distance, and how it just means nothing. when it drives you to do things that this man is like driven to, but as a result of this like romanticization of these kind of concepts, it is really disturbing. And like, and you laugh so you don't cry, because it's like a deeply sad, disturbing movie. That's what I really liked about it. I love just the name of the film, The King of Comedy. There's something so like ironic about it.
Yeah, the opening credits are very eerie and creepy. It's like just a freeze frame of him. Like,
it really sets the tone.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah. The foreshadowing of what that. That
but
picture
there is a sense of humor to all of it, even if it is creepy.
Well, there's obviously comedy in the movie, and it's all good from what you hear. But it's just the underlying sadness that really is at its core. Because I was reading that like a lot of the people behind the creative process of the movie they found it to be quite a overbearing kind of project because of that level of darkness that they put into it, and it's what makes it. It's what makes it great. Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable in all the best ways possible.
Exactly. The whole like dream sequence when he's on television, which kind of reminded me of Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, I wonder if it was inspired by that.
Yeah,
I would have to say that was probably inspired by that for sure.
Yeah, that was all great. And then it was funny when he was like, "We were wrong, Rupert, and you were right. And that's why we'd like to apologize in front of the whole country."
We all thought you'd amount to
like
nothing.
That shit is so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then like his very sincere reactions to all these things is like, "Yeah, that sounds terrific. Thank you very much." Yeah. But it's just him in his basement with a bunch of cardboard cutouts.
What I absolutely love though about his character is that he's rewarded for all of it at the end. Like
absolutely.
Or
he
is
doesn't
he
stumble into creating followers.
I thought that the ending was completely interpretable.
Well, as I interpreted it anyway, to me that was like the point of the movie, was like, and yet it's rewarded, and just the fact that like his comedy wasn't even like good. It was so. It's been done before, mediocre, completely average.
It would sell in the 70s.
It would sell in that environment.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, that's part of what the movie is too. Is like once you're on that stage and you're there with the audience and the applause sign and all these cameras, people are more prone to laugh. Yeah. Even if they're watching a fucking crazy person.
And also, he was hyped up, and that was like literally a part of what he wrote for them to read. He's like, "I'm presenting to you the next king of comedy. This is a surefire thing." Like, getting people into that mindset where it's like, this is the best thing you'll see right now in front of an audience of people. Like, he understood that was like a necessary component of being successful. Like, that's part of it. And so he used that to his advantage, which was
he just wants to be famous. He doesn't even care about comedy, really.
Oh yeah, it's completely selfish. He's not even. It's not even about expressing himself, really. It's literally just about.
He doesn't care about
I'm
going
to prove everyone wrong in my life that thought I'd amount to nothing. You're wrong. I'm right. It's completely selfish and hilarious. And there's a lot of people like that.
But the kind of mindset is like encouraged in America. This like, if you work hard and just keep at it, even if you're not funny, eventually you'll get there. You just have to put yourself out there enough. And he's rewarded for that. And that's like what all Scorsese's movies are about, kind of. And that's like, you know, why I love all of them. They all have that element of America encourages this kind of fucked up behavior that encourages crime and kidnapping and like whatever the hell. And it's like deep seated in everyone here. And I find that so fascinating.
Yeah.
How he explores that.
There's that brilliant moment towards the end where through most of the movie you're kind of against the main character. You're laughing at him and you're uncomfortable because he's deluded. But there's a point towards the end where it's revealed that a lot of his really sad, dark material is based on his life. And you suddenly sort of like get a newfound level of sympathy for him, or in a weird way, he's like kind of, it's the same point as the Joker, obviously, with like, he's kind of a victim of this system that he's just found himself a part of. Like this guy, he could have been anywhere, but because he was there and then with that just slight off nature about him, that's the way he was drawn to, and that's where it went. And it's just so sad underlying.
He probably had like a bad childhood and he has really low self-esteem, and that's why he puts on this like character that, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, make everyone laugh. But what did he say? It's his job to spread joy. He was put on this earth to spread joy and happiness. And
his conviction too. He really sells that he believes.
Exactly. God put him there for that. It's very like a sociopath would say that.
I like how we got to see his material and that we didn't see it until the end of the movie. I think that was
there's good build up to it. And you don't know if it's going to be really awful or funny. You have no idea. You don't know what's going to happen.
The secretary was trying to be. And what I find insane is like he was actually given attention. He was given the time of day, even by the secretary. She said, hey, go do some, just work a couple clubs, record your material, we'll listen to it. And they did. And she treated him really nice and gave him some potential opportunities. But this character won't accept anything less than his fantasy delusions, which is just, it says so much about him.
Yeah. He's a fascinating character.
It makes him kind of scary.
Yeah.
He's so tenacious, and you're just glad that that's the thing he's chasing and it's not something else.
I think that part of the reason why this sort of idea perpetuates in these types of people of like, oh yeah, someone else is responsible for my success, and if I just had a big break by somebody, or like if only this person saw my script, blah blah blah, then I'd make it. I think part of the reason why that idea is so prevalent is because there are people in the industry in the 70s, now especially, there are a lot of people in the industry that are essentially just planted there, or they were privileged enough to have Will Smith as their dad, or, people that are not really all that special. They didn't have to like break out in some amazing way, but they are just there. There's a lot of people on television that are famous just because they happened to be in the right place at the right time and got really lucky. And so people see those characters, people see those people, and they think, oh man, all I need is somebody to give me my big break. But, the reality of the situation is you might as well be trying to win the lottery. You might as well be buying lottery tickets. If you want to get somewhere in life, you have to do it for yourself. It's the difference between buying lottery tickets or saving up your money. It's like you can still be successful, but you need to actually work on it because you were not born with that advantage.
So, in the Joker, there's that romantic interest, and that all sucked. And in this movie, you have Rita, which is a great character, and you actually understand why she would want to see Rupert again, because the thing is, Rupert's actually somewhat charming and kind in a certain environment, like when he meets her, and you like get why they'd want to see each other again. Then he invites her to Jerry Langford's house, and that whole scene was so uncomfortable. It was a great payoff to all that. That's all I kept thinking was how much better it was than the Joker.
Yeah, that's part of why I just couldn't get down with Joker. Because it's just worse in every way than this movie. The subtlety is so important to me with something like this, because it stops it becoming potentially idiotic, like it arguably does at points in Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a certain level of believability there because of the way he doesn't start just murdering people. Sure, he does kidnap someone, but there's no killing in the movie. There's no ultra violence or anything like that, and yet it's much more disturbing than anything I saw in Joker for me, anyway.
More grounded
because
and real.
It just gets in your brain. It's just a concept that is really fun to just think about, sit on, and explore. And it's really wonderful the way they...
Yeah. And Scorsese's just a great director, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the city feels real. He knows how to film New York City like no one else.
The city is a character in the film.
Yeah. Like, that one dream sequence I mentioned earlier was actually shot with television cameras. And they have, like, a wedding on the show. That. It looked great.
Yeah.
And there were even, like, these fades during the wedding that are so fucking perfect and, like, corny. I love that,
Very
too.
genuine.
Like, the attention to detail. Yeah, the attention to detail was just great.
I think that it was really cleverly presented overall. And especially when they start revealing how much of what he's fantasizing about is actually happening and what isn't, and the way that he sort of rehearses these conversations by himself in his home, it makes you question everything that comes out of his mouth for the rest of the movie. Like, was this rehearsed? Like, what about what you're saying is planned out, and what about it is something that you're actually saying right now? I thought that was very clever.
Just his dialogue in general is really interesting. Like, there's that scene towards the end where he just keeps repeatedly being asked to leave the house, and he's just trying, as like a sociopath would do, to use his understanding of language to try and manipulate his way out of the situation. But he's taken it so far, it's the one time he isn't able to, and you sort of see him snap a little bit, which is a really kind of disturbing moment that hammers home just how just out of his mind he is.
There's some key moments in the dialogue to kind of give you a glimpse into how beyond the surface he is not really a friendly, happy person. Like when he first gets rejected, when they're like, you need to work on your material, some of it was funny, not every punchline was great, and his response is, do you speak for Jerry? Like, you don't know what you're talking about, sort of thing.
Just discredit her instantly.
They mentioned that line on the featurette on the Blu-ray as being very important for the film, and I agree.
It's so clever, so much good storytelling just from the subtlety of it. You can just infer so much from just the setup of all the scenes and the way they gradually escalate and progress.
Yeah. Did you guys have any issues with it? Mine are very minor, but I do have them.
Mine are just so nitpicky, I mean.
Go for it.
The only thing I noticed was just some weird ADR now and again, which is quite common, I guess, for films from around this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the audio could have been better. I do feel as though, I guess, the handling of this situation by law enforcement and to some extent the network was a little unrealistic. Like, I get that it's trying to be more of a commentary, and it's a little exaggerated and out there. And so from the network especially, that's more forgivable. But from law enforcement, that was a little like, you wouldn't just let him go into this bar first. Like, there could be a back exit. Like, you'd lose the guy. He could just dart out the back of the bar, and you'd lose the guy that knows where Jerry is. So I don't think law enforcement handled it in a way that would ever happen, really. That was one of my issues.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think Rupert is such a great character. He kind of overshadows everyone else in the movie, and whenever this movie isn't about him or focused on him, I just don't think it's as interesting. And there's like another crazy lady who's introduced. I forgot her name. Is it Masha?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Something like that.
And I didn't find her as compelling as Rupert, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Rupert just stole the show. He really did.
Yeah.
I would have liked to focus on Jerry a little more, maybe. Maybe develop their relationship more. I'd like to know more about his life.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a little repetitive, too. I noticed it, like, toward the middle, and started to get a little, like, okay, Rupert, how many times are you going to do the same thing? Like, try to go to this guy's fucking house and talk to him.
Yeah, I really loved the scene with her and Jerry and what that turned into, and just how it kind of devolves into, you know, being more overtly sinister than before, and she's basically gonna sexually assault him. But at the same time, I agree with you. The story is more interesting with Robert De Niro, and during that point, I wish they would cut back to her a little less frequently. That was maybe like trimmed down a little, but just personal preference, I guess.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it wasn't as subtle or as clever as the Robert De Niro stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I find it funny that they're friends and they're both just nuts.
Yeah, kind of friends. Like,
yeah,
they're just kind of forced to be friends because they
Jerry
both want to
fans.
kidnap the same person. Yeah.
Got lots in
They're
common,
both
I suppose.
hardcore Jerry fans.
Yeah.
Jerry L playing Jerry L. He gets confused if he gets a different name. I think what makes something a really, I guess, impactful movie for me is when I'm able to kind of just relate it to either experiences in my life or, I guess, ideas about society that I've already noticed or already more or less agreed with. And this is a movie that does that very well. Like, obviously, I've already ranted a bit on, the types of characters that you can find in real life that are like the characters in this film and what it's trying to say about that. And I'm sure we've all heard about plenty of different YouTubers where someone's just shown up at their house sort of thing, and they think that that's cool for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you don't know anything about me. You really don't. Like, you have an idea, you have an imagination of what I'm like, but there's no way to tell, right? Like, it's interesting how closely it relates to a lot of the ideas of parasocial relationships that we see nowadays, and that I think it's pretty much a timeless movie in terms of the ideas that it's getting at, and it's pretty awesome that it came out in the 70s when I'm sure at that point in time there had already been plenty of celebrities that have had really tough times with just how people treat them. I love that shot of him and the woman on the payphone. She's like, please, my son has cancer or something like that. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm busy, right? Like, I gotta go, I'm late. I hope you get cancer. And it's just like this immediate shift of like, my time is more valuable than yours. And in their minds,
that's a great moment.
like, we see this mirrored with Robert De Niro saying, like, I've spent my entire life working on this, and all you got to do is listen for 15 minutes. When in reality, what people don't understand, what many people don't understand, is if you do give that amount of time to everybody, right, then you literally you can't do anything else. I can't check all my tweets. I wouldn't be able to get work done. Like, I'm sorry, and I feel bad about it because I want to be a nice person. And if I meet someone that's, obviously interested in saying hi, I'll give them the time of day because I know that it obviously means a lot to them and it's something really small and painless that I can do. But it is a big problem when there is that sort of expectation, that entitlement, where people feel like, oh, you deserve me this time, when you don't know what kind of day they're having. You don't know if they're late for something. You don't know if somebody in their life just died or if they haven't gotten any sleep. So to act offended by that and be like, when you have no context to that, I think is a big issue. And it's something that's very common, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Rupert was like a character raised by television. Like, he never interacted with any friends or anything. He just lived life as if he was on some kind of talk show. And he always wanted to see himself in that spot because he felt like that's how you get special. That's how you become the one that everyone likes. It's sick, but it's a mentality a lot of people have. And he feels like he knows Jerry because he's watched Jerry on television for so many years, which is probably how a lot of people feel like about, when they watch us or whatever.
When they listen to this podcast. Dun, dun, dun.
You don't really know. I also like Jerry's character, too. He wasn't an overt asshole. He wasn't trying to be a dick, but, you could tell he was genuinely annoyed by what this fucking guy was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved his reactions. I thought they were very genuine.
Especially early on. Like, that first scene, he's really trying to be nice as he's trying to go back in his hotel.
Well, so many characters do. I just kept thinking, God, you're so good at your job. Like, especially the secretary woman. I felt so much sympathy for having to deal with that kind of thing, especially because you're saying about how it applies to like us and our specific jobs or whatever. But I think it would apply basically at any point in my life in some way, which I think does really hammer home how good the like message and the way you can interpret the movie is, because whether you work in retail or like a weird job like this, or anywhere where you're interacting with people in some way, you're gonna see this kind of thing. And just to explore that kind of mindset it's really spoke to me, and is really a really fascinating thing this time in my life.
Yeah. Great movie, great character study. Love what it explored.
The psychology of him is very clear.
Great performances.
Well researched. I love this movie. 4 out of 5 for me.
Nice.
Yeah, well, seeing as it's my first time watching it, it really did connect with me. And there wasn't much I really disliked about it at all. Maybe upon rewatch, because this is the kind of film I want to show to people and watch with people and discuss and really think about and let sit for a while. But yeah, it really spoke to me, and there isn't much else I'd really want from it at this point in time. It's exactly what I was after in something like Joker. I love the subtle approach. I love just the presentation, how thoughtful it is, detail-oriented, as you already said. It's a 5 out of 5 stars for me.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's closer to a 9 than a 7. We'll see what happens on a second watch.
Nice.
Loved it. Thanks, Ralph.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you for that one.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Mom, please stop calling me.
That was Scorsese's mom.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
That was Scorsese's
Scorsese's mom is in
character.
so many movies. Scorsese's mom is in Goodfellas. It makes them like dinner at night after they kill that guy in the bar.
Yeah. What a legend.
I forgot if that was her painting. She holds up like a painting in that scene. I forgot if that was hers, that she actually painted or not. But yeah, good for Scorsese's mom. She's acted in so many movies.
All right, question time?
Let's do it. Let's answer some questions from the community. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer on the next episode, head over to the Sardonicast Reddit, where Ralph will leave a thread, and you can ask us whatever you want. Let's start off with one from New Vegas 19. What's the hardest you've intentionally/unintentionally laughed at a movie?
Oof.
Pulp Fiction, like the Sam Jackson scene where he kills
Which
those two
one?
guys. There's so many. The one where he gives the Bible lecture and then shoots those two guys with Travolta.
That was a hysterical
on.
moment for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole scene.
Mine would be Fateful Findings when
The whole movie.
when Jim gets killed. No! You killed him. And then later Neil Breen's like, Jim! I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide? I laughed so hard that my roommate 2 floors below me had to come upstairs to see what was so funny. I'm on the top floor, he's on the basement.
Sometimes something just catches you.
I didn't know sound could travel that much in the house. So I guess that would have to be my answer.
That's the power of Neil Breen.
Oh, man. Classic.
Yeah.
Alex?
What about an intentional one?
An intentional? What do you
Actually,
mean? Like intentional from if it was a comedy?
The
Well, like
film is
laughing at
funny.
Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
like, it's not because it's bad, it's because it's funny. Whereas
Yeah.
Fateful Findings, that's just funny because it's just the fact that it exists. Yeah, because my unintentional one would be it's called Life's a Jungle or something. It's like a bad animated movie, it's like a straight to DVD rip-off movie. There's just something about really bad animation in certain forms, like really half-assed. Like if it can be really annoying, but if it catches you at the right time with an image so just unexpected or just out of the blue, that one just, it broke me. Couldn't take it.
Scorch's PFG TV makes me laugh really hard. Not intentionally. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Scorch's PFG TV?
No, I have no idea what that
I
is.
did a video on it.
Oh, yeah,
it's like a cable
yeah.
access reality. It's
haven't
like
seen
cable
that video
access
yet.
talk show. It's basically if Rupert Pupkin made a talk show.
Oh, great.
That's what it is.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I saw some memes on your subreddit.
Good. So yeah, look up some Scorch.
Okay. I think that my hardest laughs would be at unintentional humor, just because I love that so much. But
Yeah.
I guess in terms of intentional humor, I don't know, probably somewhere in Nirvana the Band the Show, or Nathan for You, or I guess movies. Some of the funniest comedies for me would be something like Smiley Face with Anna Faris, but I've never like gauged how loud my laugh was at any of those. Fateful Findings sticks out in my mind because I didn't know sound could travel like that in my house, so obviously it was a huge laugh in there.
Oh, Goodfellas. Goodfellas has the "What am I, clown?" scene with Joe Pesci. That's probably the funniest scene I've ever seen. That scene.
There's a memorable scene for me in the comedy In the Loop with Peter Capaldi. It's one of those unexpected things where his character's like the comedic sort of anchor of it all. He's like this really angry Scottish guy. And he's in America at one point in the movie, and he's like, his whole character is that he's like always about to explode, so anything can set him off, and like this like huge morbidly obese American like ticks him off, and you can imagine the like Scottish like rage that comes out, and it's just so over the top. That got to me the first time I saw it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm sure there's others I'm not thinking of. Not every comedy can get to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think I'm kind of similar, where it takes quite a lot to get an actual reaction that's more than just.
Yeah, exactly. The highest selling, the highest grossing comedies are usually ones that I find like, that was, chuckle maybe once sort of thing.
Grown Ups 2.
I guess one of the highest grossing comedies that I've seen that I genuinely laughed at would be like Borat and Bruno movies.
Yeah, they have their moments for sure.
I love the awkward humor.
That is an element of like real too.
Yeah.
It's like we are actually watching people be uncomfortable.
I love cringe humor.
Yeah, it makes your skin cool.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it
not
so
written.
much.
I watched Caddyshack recently. That was kind of funny, but that's just like goofy shit.
Yeah,
like Bill Murray's chasing a fucking groundhog like through a golf field. It's just hilarious. It's like such a bad puppet too.
I almost forgot one that's for sure should be mentioned here. Black Dynamite, 100%. Yeah,
Black
especially
Dynamite's
like the
hilarious,
first couple times watching that movie. Even now, like I rewatched
Pao
it again earlier
has
this
some
year.
moments.
Still hilarious. Kung Pao, great. Yeah,
That has its moments, definitely.
yeah.
Okay, well, Nev a Lost 20 has one for us. There's somewhat of a stigma about going to the movies alone. As people who watch movies in a professional capacity, does it still exist for you at all, or not as much?
Not as much.
Personally, I don't care. Like,
I don't
honestly.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it.
I guess because it's seen as kind of an activity, like going bowling or something. Like, do many people go bowling by themselves? I guess if you're a professional.
Yeah, if you're a professional, yeah. Well, if you're watching like a Marvel movie that's like an event, you should go with a few friends, because a lot of people go to see those. But we often see movies like fucking First Reformed or like Suspiria, movies no one wants to see.
Yeah.
Like none of my friends want to watch like shit like that.
I can usually find friends that'll watch movies with me no matter what they are, which is nice.
Yeah,
But
which is good. Yeah,
I mean,
but a lot of people don't have that luxury where let's go see this really indie film together.
yeah, a lot of people have 9-to-5 day jobs and can't see a movie on like Tuesday morning. So
Exactly.
yeah.
When it's
I'm actually
convenient
quite
for me.
fond of the solo experience now and again.
It's nice.
Like there's something, like there's no distractions and you can just focus on the movie as long as
I
the
usually
audience
do like
behaves.
2 movies because I'm there already, like by myself.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see a movie on a whim. Like, I had ruined my sleep schedule, and then I was already out and about, and then I was near a theater. I was like, oh, the new Star Wars is playing. I guess I wasn't going to see it. It was the Solo, a Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars
one.
story. And so I watched Solo. And I was like, okay, well, that was all right.
I wasn't.
It wasn't great.
And you loved it.
I mean,
Film of the year.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought it would, but it was, I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. I was already out of the house. Like, well, I need something to do to keep me awake, and I don't really fall asleep in movies, so.
We have one I'm curious about. From Vince is Depressed. Chin up. Do you believe in conspiracy theories? The more spectacle ones, like Area 51 having aliens, for example.
No. That one's all bullshit. There's some that are real.
Epstein.
Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah, so you don't think that we've ever had... Wait, what was the Area 51?
Yeah.
So do you think there's an Area 51 out there with, like, aliens?
No.
I mean,
nowhere near us.
There's
Get
certainly
the fuck
government secrets, but
absolutely.
who knows if it's aliens or not, right?
And I bet they're a little more complex than just there's an alien.
Yeah.
Probably involves a lot of different names and fucking countries you don't know, never heard of.
There's definitely classified information that governments are keeping from the
September
public.
11th ones are the absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that think like, oh, it was a hologram or something. Doesn't even make any fucking sense. One of them's like they painted thermite on the building beforehand and then detonated it. Like, what the fuck? You can't, even if you did that, like, the walls aren't what support the building. It's like the fucking beams, the steel beams. You'd have to paint thermite directly on the beam. Doesn't make any sense.
People love to speculate, man.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy movie that you can watch on Amazon Prime Video called Zeitgeist. Have you guys ever seen it?
No. What's that one
I think
about?
I've seen the poster.
Oh man, it was so nostalgic for me because like when I was growing up with the internet, there were films like Zeitgeist and Loose Change and like a bunch of conspiracy things that, you know, if I was watching as a 15-year-old and I would just believe everything I saw because I would be like, oh well, somebody researched this and not think twice about the credibility of what was being researched or how it was researched. But I would still recommend Zeitgeist as long as you watch it with a grain of salt. And, you know, don't just automatically believe everything that they're saying. Because when you watch things like that, I think that it's important to understand and empathize with people that have different beliefs. And so even if you disagree with something, to at least understand why someone else believes something. And watching that film in particular, like Zeitgeist, and especially the way it's presented, it's like the music that they use in the background, the tone of the narration and the voice. It's like it gets you like pumped into it, like, and there's bits of truth sprinkled in there too, like things that are like undeniably true. And so it's like it's fun. It's almost like LARPing as a conspiracy believer when watching that movie. I would recommend it for sure.
Cool.
It's not great.
I saw one on Netflix about Bob Lazar. That guy. He's like some guy who was in Area 51 and saw a UFO, or so he says. And this documentary was made about him, but he doesn't have any proof for it or anything. And Mickey Rourke did the narration for it, and that was fucking awful too. I recommend that one if you want to cringe.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if there's because you could call Epstein's murder a conspiracy, but nobody seriously believes that he committed suicide. Like no serious person actually believes that. Even the people who are saying that in the media don't believe it. They're just saying it, right? So is that a conspiracy theory?
Any shade of doubt.
Technically it is, so that's one I believe in. Mm-hmm. Oh no, the camera's cut out
there
at that exact moment. Oh no.
It just becomes addictive to people, doesn't it? Just the concept of there are secrets being hidden from me. The truth is out there. Like, and I know something that other people don't. That's alluring to people.
Yeah, but then everything becomes a secret and everything's a conspiracy, and that's
where does it end? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's against me.
Scrutinize anything.
That's part of the reason why I don't like hate people that believe in conspiracy theories, like because there is this environment where governments are keeping secrets from people, right? Like if the government didn't lie about so many things, governments didn't lie about so many things, then it wouldn't be as forgivable for people to believe in like every single conspiracy theory. But because there's so much that we're constantly lied to about, it's like, okay, well, I guess I can, I can understand why you believe everything's a conspiracy, even if I draw the line at a different place.
Sometimes bad things just happen and people don't know how to process it. And so they think it's some government conspiracy. Alex Jones on about Sandy Hook, how it was some government false flag or whatever. It's like sometimes fucking there's just a crazy person who does something awful or a disaster, a natural disaster. And people just don't know how to handle that.
Every single time there's some sort of a mass shooting in America that gets any kind of media attention, there's always people that are saying, this is a false flag so that people take away our guns. But it's like, the one argument that I have against that is if the goal by having these shootings was to take away your guns, they're certainly not doing a very good job at it. Like, the government never took away your guns. Statistically, gun sales go up every time one of those happens. So, I mean, if there's a conspiracy, if they are false flags and they have to do with, like, gun sales and the NRA, then wouldn't they be false flags in order to sell more guns? Because that's what's happening every shooting. How could it be a false flag to take away your guns when the only thing that happens after every single one of those is gun sales going up? It would be the opposite if it's a conspiracy. So
everything's a false flag.
Yeah. This podcast.
But we need them.
It's a false flag, yeah.
You need the occasional conspiracy theorist and whistleblower. Like, it's like a balance, isn't it? You need to have the people that are out there who are willing to dedicate their lives to this kind of thing, just on the off chance.
You actually have to have something, though. You gotta have proof. Usually that takes a long time, lots of investigators and journalism even. The whole thing with, like, the Catholic priests molesting little boys over the 90s, and, like, that was fucking crazy. No one had ever heard of that shit before then. You know? So it is needed, and it definitely had an impact on society, that coming out. Or, like, the Me Too stuff. I don't know if it kind of correlates in, but yeah.
Trust but verify.
Yeah, exactly. Verify.
Yeah. Like, don't make up your mind in an extreme direction in either way without any sort of evidence.
Yeah, especially like how people give so much like credence to some of these like behind the scenes governmental sort of happenings. Like, you really think that the same people who can barely keep potholes out of the roads can, you know, or like run the NHS like competently or anything. You really think they're able to do these like things like chemtrails and control us and stuff? They're just people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They're just working within this weird system that's restraining them to behave in a certain way, and they're just doing their jobs.
I think part of it is that people put celebrities and politicians on such weird pedestals that essentially dehumanize them, where they're so unrelatable, like they're elite. And so people make up all these justifications for them being, you know, not a part of the public, when in reality, some people are just detached because they're billionaires and they don't know what it's like to live like a normal person. But to imply a lot of the conspiracy theories that exist, like the Illuminati and all that, like, A, you'd have to be implying that so many people are in on it that are just like all keeping their mouths shut. B, it doesn't make any sense that if it's a secret, why they would put the pyramid and eye symbols and like everything. Like, well, like if it's supposed to be
like
a secret, why are they doing that? Right? Like, hey, everybody, the Illuminati exists. Haha. And I think a lot of it goes hand in hand with people that believe in, like, you know, Satanism and stuff like that. Alex Jones is, you know, whenever it comes down to the justification for why these conspiracies are real, he's always like, it's to turn us away from God and Satan worship and stuff like that. A lot of these people believe that.
Globalists are going to take us down.
Yeah, exactly. But
people believe that in the entertainment industry. They put like satanic messages in children's films. There was a whole thing like that in Minions, and with the Lion King too. They erased the sex thing. But that was just some animator probably fucking around or an accident. But now people think like there's legit satanic messages
are notorious for doing that.
Yeah,
as if just sex as a concept
children.
is like Satanism, but
yeah. Well, it's satanic because God does not want you to have sex till you're married.
No.
But liberal Hollywood does not want. They want you to have sex immediately.
Yeah, compared to like all the movies that exist. Where it's like, oh, James Bond's fucking all these women. Look at how much of a player he is. Like, that's just so overt. Like, why don't you call that satanic worship? Why don't you call it, like, why does it have to be Lady Gaga?
Adults.
I was in when I was in Edmonton finishing up my high school diploma equivalency. There was it was basically at this campus where there was everybody there was only there getting their equivalency because they had failed at regular high school, whereas I just dropped out because I didn't like it. And so there were a lot of interesting characters, and I remember there was some sort of assignment, and you know how that sometimes they hang up the assignments on the walls outside of the class, and I was just going by one day, and I saw somebody wrote an assignment on why... Rihanna. Rihanna and Lady Gaga are a part of the Illuminati trying to turn people away from God through their lyrics, and they cited examples. I'm like, you handed this in to your teacher. And it was really funny. And I remember just like, I would purposefully walk in that hallway just so I could go by and read it every day and laugh. It was really funny.
People,
There's a lot of
they
people
just be
out there.
searching for something to believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want something to believe in, and if it's something like that they attach themselves to, whatever.
I think it's
As long
fun.
as you ain't ruining people's lives, go for it.
Yeah, hopefully. It is kind of funny.
We got to talk about this one. There are
Sure.
too many questions about this topic, and it's, I suppose, relevant to this episode. Great Muncher asks this. What are your thoughts and feelings on what Martin Scorsese said about Marvel movies? Do you agree with him or just think he's an old fart?
What did he say exactly?
He said Marvel movies are the equivalent of theme park rides and that they're kind of not actual
Yeah,
cinema.
that they're conditioning audience members into expecting amusement park rides rather than, actual challenging films. I think there's some truth in
I
what
can
he's
get on
saying
board
for
with that.
sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely some truth in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to look at the
Yeah, it's a
movies
really
that
good
are the
comparison.
most successful this year, and they're all like really dumb, big budget CGI remakes, reboots, sequels, superheroes. It does
Made by
kind of
Disney,
feel like
yeah.
made by Disney. Yeah, it does kind of feel like we're just walking into a Disney attraction now,
Joaquin.
and they're all the same. They all feel the same because they're all made by the same people.
It is a great way to describe that kind of event movie. But I don't think that necessarily means it isn't worthwhile or valuable to people. Because there's still like filmmaking, but it's a different type of filmmaking. It's completely different. Like the production behind the Lighthouse compared to Avengers Endgame, it's like a completely different level. And there is like an art to be able to make something kind of cool out of a system like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're really like looking for something to appreciate,
Yeah.
because I think there are a lot of the Marvel movies that are just completely forgettable and not worth watching. But I think there are a couple in there that do have a voice and do have something a bit more to say. So
Absolutely.
obviously, if like you just watched Ant-Man 2 and then were like, you could make an assumption maybe that they're all just shit and like that and they're all the same. But you're not going to have the same level of knowledge compared to someone that is sort of like it kind of reminds me of like, do you think people were saying this about like Westerns when there were just countless Westerns being plopped out? I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
There are directors
Because they were
that
like
felt the
cheap to
same
make
thing.
westerns. That's why people did them.
Yeah, exactly. but there are still like great Westerns and really bad Westerns. And it's a similar thing.
Yeah, people shouldn't take like the worst examples from that genre and use it as like, because you could talk about Dark Phoenix and all you want, like, and say, oh, this is like a shitty, stale theme park ride.
Exactly.
But you do get the good ones. You do get Jokers and Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. They happen. They just, you do get crap like Dark Phoenix as well.
And Justice League and all of
Justice League, yeah.
the leeches, yeah.
It is becoming more common, and like the absurdity of like spending $10 million on a CGI mustache, like that's never been done before. It's getting more and more absurd, but it's still the
ridiculous.
same.
The money side is absurd.
You're right. They've always just been about profit. There's always shit being made. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that the issue is not something that's new. It's just that Disney has gotten a lot better at selling people this type of thing. Like, people have always liked popcorn movies. When people go to the movies, it's not really about, oh yeah, I want to learn something about the director. It's, oh, this has Hugh Jackman in it. I think the average audience member is looking for some way to kill time, to forget about what's going on in their life, have some fun, like an amusement park ride. And just because movie studios are getting a lot better at delivering that to people, I don't think it's necessarily a new thing in terms of what general audience members want. I do see it as a problem still because we're seeing a lot less original ideas. Like I said, there's never going to be another Matrix, and for some reason people thought that meant that I was saying there would never be another Matrix sequel, but what I was talking about was like a big original idea being greenlit by a studio for a lot of money. Great concepts that are risk-taking. You don't see a lot of those anymore, unless they're directed by Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino, people who have proved themselves to be able to sell a film regardless of what the film is.
Also, the home experience is becoming more popular. So these studios, to get people in the theater, they're like, okay, we gotta got to pump it up. Tons of CGI, tons of action. You got to get people, you got to get butts in the seats.
120
and
frames per second.
You can't do that if you just release. Yeah, you can't do that with like a $30 million drama unless you got fucking the Joker in it or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can't say it's really ruining anything though. Like, we're still getting countless great movies every year. Like, if it really started impacting the way we were actually able to even consume new movies, and that like we just straight up couldn't get the kind of movies we are now, but as a result of just this total monopolization of this industry. Well, I guess the trajectory is what's worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like good movies, for example, like they all have to be just like Joker now. Like, it's like taking an old concept, attaching a recognizable character / property to it, and that's the only way to sell movies now. Like, that's a genuine fear. Like, what if they just start doing that?
Yeah.
They just start remaking movies just with famous characters in, and that's just the way they go.
It's more of an issue for big budget studio projects than anything else. Like, that's how the industry has shifted. Right now, there are more creative, original voices in cinema than ever before. It's easier to make an independent movie than ever before. Mm-hmm. It's easier to distribute it than ever before. You know, we're getting a lot more movies and a lot more voices, just mostly on Netflix or digital, and you might not be able to see it in theaters, which is sad in its own way, but I mean, they still exist, at least.
Mm-hmm. They're making money.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Netflix is kind of filling that hole for me a little bit. Like, you get your Romas. God damn it. Yeah, you get your Romas. You get, like, isn't the new Scorsese movie coming to Netflix soon? Like, you're
El
still
Camino
getting these great films.
The Breaking Bad film.
There's all sorts of quality. We just are devouring it in a different way now.
Mm-hmm. I just wish there were more experiences like Roma that were just released normally in a theater and I could go see it. Yeah. I do wish that, and I think that's more what Scorsese's hinting at, more so than is that that's all people want to see, and that's all
like
these studios want to push.
Have films like that ever been marketable though in the same way?
They used to be.
Yeah,
a long time ago now, right?
Yeah, you could used to just sell a movie on 2 stars. It didn't matter what it was about. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie fucking go on an island. Whatever. People go see it because it's them, or like the Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie, the tourist. I don't even know what the fuck that's about.
The tourist.
It's like one of those. Yeah.
Well, have you seen the latest thing? Is like there are 2 The Rock movies coming out, and they just look identical. It's like a Disney one and a Universal. I don't know.
It's like Jumanji and then Jungle Book, right?
It was.
It's like a Disney thing.
It's
there's a jungle.
The Jungle Cruise.
Oh, the Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. Sorry, not Jungle Book. Yeah.
And they both look
based
terrible.
on the ride. Based on the least popular ride.
That's the movie where there were articles that came out probably close to a year ago saying Jungle Cruise will feature Disney's first ever openly gay character. Hint, it's not The Rock. And the character that it was is like, I'm not even sure I saw him in the trailer. So like it's going to be one of those things guaranteed where he's so insignificant that you can just easily edit him out for China. So oh man.
Yeah. It's the same with the Marvel movies. Because I watched that South Park about China that you
thank you,
recommended.
yeah. So
which
good.
Was really, really funny. But it made me think, wait, yeah, like with how people are always accusing the current Disney for like, for lack of a better word, SJWing their sort of cast or whatever. But we haven't actually seen a gay character in the MCU.
Because China!
But they're technically, Marvel fans will say, no, there is one. Apparently in Thor Ragnarok, the like lead supporting actress in that movie is a gay character, but there's no way you'd ever know that without really like searching into it.
You got to keep it marketable for the Chinese
edit
censors.
Yeah.
Like in Beauty and the Beast, all those articles came out. Like what was the guy's name? The Gaston's friend?
Yeah.
Like his little sidekick. They're like, he's gay. And there were actually theater chains in the States that were boycotting the movie before it was even released. Like, this is trying to corrupt our children. They're trying to recruit our children to the gay agenda. And then you watch the movie and it's like, he like danced with a man at the end. And it was supposed to be kind of funny. And the only real reason why anybody said he was gay was because like some random journalist asked the guy a question like, do you think your character's maybe gay? And then what do you say in that situation? You have to say like, oh, there's a possibility. Because if you say no way, then you're just going to make people angry, right? And so then people just
These leading
interpret it however they
questions.
want. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the only reason
It's
that
so
this
annoying.
Scorsese article even existed, because he was asked a leading question to trap him into an obvious answer that you'd give like this. Of course Scorsese thinks this. Like, it's not like that groundbreaking to figure this out. I can't believe people are so upset about it.
Betrayed by Scorsese, who doesn't think that Marvel movies are the best cinema.
I'm not going to watch The Irishman. I will never watch a Scorsese film again.
I am boycotting Scorsese.
Boycott. Yeah. But it's Netflix. It doesn't even matter if you watch it or not.
Yeah.
You don't pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless you cancel your Netflix. I guess people do that. They do that out of protest.
No, they'll be
I
back.
don't know.
They want to rewatch Breaking Bad or something. They'll be back.
The Office.
They're going to get Disney Plus,
Yeah.
Just watch The Office again.
which has everything except Song of the South.
I wonder why. That should be our next recommendation.
Yeah.
One more question or no?
Sure.
Yeah, I got a short one here we
Sure.
can end on. From Listen to Mirthless. When will you guys learn how to pronounce the word homage? Ralph and Adam have mispronounced it countless times. To my knowledge, Alex has yet to use the term. But if
Homage.
he's the one reading this question right now,
Have I-
he probably just said it.
Homage.
Side note, I love and worship all of you, even though Adam doesn't like being put on a pedestal, lol.
I love you too.
Homage. I love you too. But homage. Is that not how you pronounce it? Homage?
Homage.
Is it not just like a regional thing? Then?
It's homage, I think.
Really?
Homogenized.
I think it's homage.
I
Right.
swear it's homage. This person's crazy.
This is going to spark a debate.
Rupert
Forget about
Pupkin.
the hot dog thing.
How did Rupert
Forget
Pupkin get
about
into
all of
Reddit?
this. Forget about pineapple
Okay,
or any
well,
of
you
it.
know what?
This
I'm
is going to be
gonna
the one.
Google search this shit right now.
Yeah, I'm looking
Google
it up.
search it and play the audio and see how they say it.
Homage. Okay, let's see.
Homage.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, it said homage.
Wait, let's see.
Homage.
But it's that thing that's...
Homage.
Wait, do it again?
Homage.
Homage.
Amish?
Homage.
Homage.
I don't think it
Homage.
matters. I think people know
I'm
what the fuck
confused.
we're trying to talk about.
Homage.
I know I give Ralph
Alright,
shit a
well,
lot
now
for
we know.
mispronouncing things. But
Yeah, I mispronounce things all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
whatever.
always say
This
the
is just
wrong-
another one on the
wrong
list.
shit.
I give a fuck.
Homage. I don't think I'll ever say
So
it
now
like
the list
that.
is Adam 1, Ralph 15, something like that.
Keeping track.
So I bet someone is.
Yeah, tally it up.
Yeah,
Somebody do it.
Rupert Pupkin is sitting watching my videos.
Yeah.
Fucking tiling away every time I say something. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah, there
mean,
you go.
yeah, I don't think I'll pronounce it that way ever. Sorry.
It's been a homage episode of sorts.
All right.
Sounds wrong. Don't like it.
All right. Guess it's time for recommendation. If we were going in order, it would be Alex's turn, but I am sniping it. We've agreed to this beforehand. I'm not that mean. We're swapping, so he'll do the recommendation the episode after this, because there's a movie that I want to recommend that is not only like a Halloween-esque movie, and that's coming up soon, but also a movie that I want to talk about with a guest that's going to appear on the next episode. I'll explain who that guest is after the recommendation. The movie is Thirst, 2009, director of Old Boy and also The Handmaiden, Park Chan-wook, I believe.
Awesome.
I'm very excited.
There's two different versions. There's a director's cut. I think there's about 13 minutes of difference. I've only ever seen the director's cut, and I've seen it quite a few times. It is a long-ish movie. I think it's like 2:15 to 2:30, like 2 hours, 30 minutes or something. So I'll be watching the director's cut. I don't think it'll be a huge difference if you don't. It might be a little hard to find because it is... The Blu-ray I have is literally, like, it was limited edition out of print. I don't know why, but whatever. I'm sure you can find it somewhere, even if it might not be legal. You can-
What?
and I'm not recommending you
Sure.
do that, because that would be illegal. But if you did it, hypothetically, just buy the regular version also to make up for it. Support the creators. Support the industry. Yeah, that's the recommendation.
Great.
I would call it my favorite vampire movie.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you need to know about it. We got guest next episode. If you want to, in the question thread that's out, if you want to leave some questions that might be tailored towards our guest, David F. Sandberg, director of Shazam, will be joining us. He will also be watching The Lighthouse, so he'll be a part of that discussion as well.
Awesome.
Hype.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support the show, $2 a month. Sardonicast.com. Sign up for premium. You'll get these episodes early when they're edited. Also, patreon.com/Sardonicast. Also, we got merch. Also, the only way to actually watch our next episode on Halloween would be if you get it early, because it's going to come out slightly after Halloween, I think. Like November 4th, otherwise. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for listening,
Awesome.
guys.
Yep.
That was
Thanks,
great.
everybody.
Talked about 3 good movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check the
The more
subreddit
incredible one.
for the question thread. Ralph will leave a thing.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave a thing.
Yeah. Remember when you used to say, Alex, that he would leave a funny thread, but now you just don't say that anymore? Are they not funny anymore?
No, I just don't.
Because it's sometimes they are funny, sometimes they're just normal. I'm
yeah,
not
the
gonna
past
take
few
that
months
risk.
have been busy, so I just
Yeah.
I kept it normal.
You're not going to hype it up.
No. Maybe I'll write something a little special for this one.
Okay.
I like the Dello Feligates one. That was a good one.
Oh, God.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of ran out of them. I got to start making lists of more.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Love you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
Catch you.
everybody.
On the flip side. Bye-bye.
Bye.